Welcome to Girls Who Talk Goals. I'm Christy.
I'm Natalie.
And I'm Emily.
We are creating an empowering community where we inspire each other to step out of our comfort zones
and fill each other's cups one conversation at a time.
We're all just trying to figure out life, so let's go on this journey together.
Let's jump into today's episode. Welcome back, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about 25 lessons we've learned by our mid-20s. And today's mantra specifically is going to be, you don't know what you don't know.
Enough said.
Enough said, right?
There we go.
Yeah, so just to recap, we are having an amazing Saturday, having a pool day. It's gorgeous outside, and we ended the week better than we started it.
Way better.
Thank God.
Way better.
Yeah, I feel like I slowly and surely got my shit together towards the end of the week. I'm like working a little bit harder than I was and just getting more done. The beginning of the week was just like a rough start, and I don't know, sometimes you just get burnt out after doing things after a while, but now I finally feel like I'm refreshed and ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like what's hard with being a realtor is like maybe you work all weekend, so then comes Monday and you're like,
it's like a Thursday.
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah, exactly. You don't feel refreshed. You feel tired, and it's almost like it needs to be like a Saturday for you.
Yeah.
Literally.
So that's what's hard, to start the week with a bang when you've worked all weekend.
I agree. Thursday and Friday, today's Saturday, this past Thursday and Friday have been super productive for me, but like every week is different.
Yeah.
Every week is different, and so it totally depends. But I feel like because we were feeling productive and we're having a great day, we were kind of reminiscing on things, and it brought today's episode.
Yeah, so let's jump into it.
So let's get into it. Yeah. So we're each going to say, we're just going to go around and say our little tidbits that we wrote down, and then we'll expand on some. Otherwise, we'll just keep on rolling.
Yes.
Just keep them going.
Who wants to start?
I will start.
Okay.
So my first one is probably, and I feel like I've just started doing this the past year more than what I have been doing, and it's just to say yes. Say yes to like somebody who wants to get lunch with you. Say yes to going on an adventure with somebody, because more yeses and like putting yourself out there leads to better opportunities.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
I
love
agree.
that.
Totally agree. Say yes to opportunities.
Yeah, you never know where it's going to lead you, what door it's going to open. So, yeah, say yes.
Okay, I'll go next. I have my first one is surround yourself with people who inspire you. And we've touched on that. I just think it changes so much growing up and then getting into your 20s, because you have your high school crew, but then you're kind of figuring out who you are after college or whatnot, and you realize, okay, maybe some of those people don't align with who I am in the future. Figuring out yourself, maybe your parents, or you're having influence, family, friends of doing a certain way, but you need to find your passion, and figuring out getting your crew of people who are inspiring you. And I think that's important to learn in your own right.
Exactly.
In your 20s. And being comfortable with who you are.
Yes.
Right.
I had this like marketing call this week, and that reminds me of this conversation that I had with a guy, and he was like, winners want to hang out with winners. Like, find the right people for you who elevate you too. And I'm like, I love that,
Yeah, I agree.
That's amazing. It's so true, though. And that kind of brings me to my point that not everybody is going to be your friend. And not even just like a good friend per se, but like you said, like who inspires you, and like a friend who is going to push you and to make you a better person. Or like we talked about the other day, somebody who you feel inspired when you leave the conversation. So I just feel like not everyone's going to be your friend, and that's okay. But surround yourself with the best people who are going to be the best friends for you.
Yeah.
I agree.
And okay, a little bit of a rant, but I guess, is that our third one?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to piggyback off of that and just say, be patient, because you're going to find the right people for you that are going to elevate and inspire you. It's really easy to get in a funk, be sad that you don't have those people around you, but like keep pushing yourself to just step out and do things, and like it'll align for you. It'll happen. Yeah.
You're going to meet them. They're going to come into your life. But if you always say no and you don't go jump on those opportunities, then you're never going to find them.
Yep.
That leads me to one of mine. You'll never miss something that's destined for you. You might be thinking, oh, well, how do I find those friends, or how do I find those people who inspire me, or that job, or that significant other? And you're never going to miss out on something that's already meant for you and that's already yours. So calm down.
I agree. 100%.
Chill out.
Stop trying to look for it. They say that with everything. Like,
They
you know,
do.
your perfect significant other, the job, the opportunity, you are never going to miss out on it. Like,
Yeah.
it is already yours. Stop looking for it. It's going to come to you. You can't miss it
You're not going to miss it
No.
if it's yours.
because it's already meant for you.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's really similar to my next one, which says, you will get to where you are going. Just be patient. Stop trying to look for it. You'll get to where you are meant to be. Just have some patience.
Which is really hard, especially for us still now. I mean, we say these and we're still reminding ourselves of these because it's really
Right.
hard to be patient.
Especially when you have goals and you want to be somewhere by a certain age, but what if you're not meant to be there at that age? What if you're not meant to find these opportunities until like a later date, but you want them so bad and you're not understanding, why is it not happening? But just be patient.
And we're innately impatient people.
Infinitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Number 7 for me would be start the business and take the risk. If something is on your mind and you're thinking about doing it, now's the time for you to just go full send and don't hesitate to chase what you're leaning into.
I agree. What was my dad just saying? We were just talking to him.
His
in
was
the kitchen.
also saying
His
he
face
wished
was
that he took more risks in his 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Which
where
is
would he be
fair.
now?
Yeah. What do we have to lose?
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
If anything,
Yeah.
you can just start over a little bit quicker in your 20s, you know?
Right. Fail sooner, learn faster.
Yep.
No kids, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I say no responsibility. Of course we have responsibility, but compared to us in our later life, we really don't.
Right. This
So,
this is the time to take
this is the
risks.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you don't have a family relying on you.
Yep, exactly. I love what he said because he said exactly that. We were talking to him just about where he was in his 20s. We were telling him we were going to film this episode, and he just kind of gave some insight, and it's always great insight coming from him.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always so enlightening.
Yeah.
It is. And inspiring.
It
Yeah.
does. He said that, and I think I was just left speechless because I'm like, I need to start getting after it more.
I know. It honestly motivated me.
That's the thing. Be around people who are doing more than you or the same as you. You will keep leveling each other up.
Right.
Like, you want to be in the
Yes.
room with people who say things like that because it's only going to drive you forward and up.
1,000%.
And inspire you.
And those people have connections and have insight. Like, you want to be, of course, you want to be friends with people who inspire you, and that they don't have to be more successful than you because
No. Inspire you in
can
other ways.
Yeah, they can inspire you in other ways. But I think also to look up to or have mentors or something with people who you do want to become, who have success that you do strive for.
Right.
They also have connections, and networking is a whole thing.
And they want to help you because
Yeah.
they've been in your shoes before.
They know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they'll never laugh at you.
No.
No.
And I think, so are we on number 8?
Yeah.
I feel like that was 8.
I feel like that was 8.
Oh, yeah. I was 8 or 9 now.
Okay. I got this from The Alchemist again, but you create your own reality. And so I just view life as a game, and you're the game maker. And you can literally do anything. Like,
You can
there's-
do anything.
Anything is possible.
It really is.
Yeah.
But I mean, kind of what you're saying too, like you create your own reality. So I feel like when things are maybe going wrong in your life, it's so easy to get in your own head and be like, oh, this is so bad and this and that. And just like almost make it out to be so much worse than what it is. But like you said, you make your own reality. So if something's not actually, you're making it so much worse in your head and you're like, you just decide like, no, like it's no big deal. It's okay. Like we'll just move past it. Like it's just all so mental.
It's a mindset.
It is. Yeah.
We
like
all
you
get
said,
in our own heads
you
every
make,
day.
You make
For
your own
sure.
reality.
Yeah.
So number 10, this too will pass. And I've had this written down in my notes for a really long time because I feel like whenever I'm so stressed out about something, something is just going wrong. And it's so easy to get so wrapped up in it and just think, I don't know, that it's just so much
world's
worse.
ending.
Yeah, that the world's ending, but everything passes. Everything, you're going to look back on it a week after, it's over and be like, it all worked out. Like, it's
agree.
all going to work out. This too will pass, the good and the bad.
Yeah.
So,
Change is the only thing that's permanent. Is that what they say or something?
yeah, change is the only thing that you can rely on, really.
Yeah, you can only rely on.
Yeah.
Which I totally agree with that because it doesn't even have to be that deep as far as like a relationship or like career change or something. I remember thinking that my mom saying that to me or something. In high school, I would get so freaking stressed out about my composition papers or a speech, because that's my biggest fear. And it's like, who really cares?
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest thing in your life at that point, and it's like a 5-minute speech that nobody's really listening to because they're so scared about what their speech is, probably, that they really don't care about yours. I don't know.
Right.
It's like, this too shall pass. I don't even remember what it was over, and it's like, that caused me so much stress.
Right, but it's like
stupid.
If you can just look over it and not make it such a big deal, this will pass. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, high school in general, I think that kind of was one of mine, which can be the next one. High school's not that serious. So if you're listening to this, if you're in high school and maybe you're being bullied, maybe something's happening that you want to forget or whatever. Your life is not high school. You're going to go to college and you're going to change.
It's not even college.
You're going to grow. Like, it's going to be fine.
You couldn't pay me to go back to high school.
No, you can pay me.
No.
It was terrible.
It was nothing. Same with college. College isn't even your life, you know?
No.
Your life doesn't even begin until I feel like your mid-20s.
I agree.
Yeah, that's actually one of mine too. So like number 12 for me would be, don't let the outside world shift you from what you're supposed to be doing just because it's what everybody else says you're supposed to do. So like even with that too, like if I could honestly go back in time, I'm glad I went to Lakeland, made a bunch of great connections, loved playing volleyball there, but I would have stopped pursuing my bachelor's after that, and I would have just been on to my next thing. Like just because everything is like what you're supposed to do doesn't mean it's what you should be doing.
I agree.
And you need to like listen to your heart and be like, okay, what's filling up your cup and like what do you want to chase, and just do it. Don't be so
Society.
Conforming.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't conform to other people's like expectations of what you should be doing.
Oh,
I
God.
completely agree.
I think we all agree on that.
Oh
I mean,
my
look at
God,
us.
so much.
None of
Yeah.
us in a traditional job. None of us have kids. I mean, it's just, we don't have a family right now.
That's fine, but that's great.
That's
We can
fine.
share.
Help yourself.
She's looking at my drink, but you know what? We all love each other. I don't mind.
That's funny.
No, that goes into another one. It's same actually for mine. I don't know what number this is, if we're going to call it another number or not.
13.
But while higher education is obviously important, it's what you do with it, and it's what the connections you make that's more valuable. Networking is key. I didn't learn anything in my classes. I learned more from my parents. Traveling, seeing different cultures, that was huge. And then just getting into my career and learning on the job and having a mentor that way. So while I value higher education, it's really what you do with it, because you have to network and you have to make the most of it. I don't think it's what makes you successful.
Yeah, for sure. Because that's also one of mine is, and it just goes right with that. It's like start the conversation. And you did that so well when we were in St. Louis. I just thought I had sunglasses on my head, but I don't. Is start the conversation. Like, don't be afraid to go up to somebody and talk to them, because you don't know where it will lead you. And that goes hand in hand with Natalie going up to this like little booth for this podcasting thing when we were at the marketing conference in St. Louis. She went up to them, and then we ended up talking to those people for like 30-45 minutes, and you just don't know where just a few words will lead you, and how you can hit it off with somebody, and how many doors it can open for you.
And we learned so much from them, more than we even learned like in the conference itself.
Yeah.
Right.
So it just goes to show. Yeah.
That was the best part of
Just
the
the
conference.
conversation. But like what you were saying, sometimes, or I think too, like you don't have to have a higher education in order to be successful. We all know that. We all see it every day. So, if that higher education isn't calling your name, it isn't sparking something in you, then maybe that's not your path.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I mean, that was me. I thought that's why I wanted to go to PA school. I thought I don't know, just to be successful, I had to.
That's what you did.
Yeah. That was the only avenue I saw, but I learned that's not the case.
Yeah. It's so hard nowadays because to be successful, you do not need a higher education. But it's such a societal thing to where people look down on you if you don't.
I would
And
argue
it's
that
a hard thing.
Yeah. I would argue that the most successful people aren't as highly educated.
No. Oh my gosh. A lot of the billionaires or something, like,
Right.
no, they're just hard workers.
Right. And they've learned how to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're on number 14.
I don't know what number we're on. We'll just keep on going
Yeah.
with all of our topics, I guess. 14-ish.
So my next one is accept what comes your way. Whether that's a stressful situation, something good, just basically take whatever life throws at you and roll the punches, because I always think in some form, in one way or another, it is a lesson that you needed to learn at that time. And so I even think that whenever I have like stressful deals, with work, I needed to learn how to roll with it and how to find a solution. And so, okay, accept what comes your way. We're just going to find our way through this and everything's going to work out.
I love that.
Yeah. Don't like hold on to those things too. Like just because like your upbringing was, worse than somebody else's, or like you dealt with all of those hard things, doesn't mean that you need to constantly like be showing that exterior to everybody and be like, well, I had X, Y, and Z when I was growing up, because a lot of us have had challenges. I've had a ton growing up with my family too. I am my own motivation to get to where I need to be. And like nobody needs to know everything that I've been through, but I'm going to keep grinding and do everything that I can to be the best version of myself.
And you're not sitting here throwing like a pity party either, like, oh, I've
Exactly.
been through all of this, and look at all these other people, they didn't have to go through this, and
Yep.
it's like,
I'm not saying that that's not important,
Or you're not
and
validated.
Not validated.
Yeah.
Right.
But if that's constantly the way you're thinking about yourself, you're only harming yourself. You're putting a glass ceiling. You're labeling yourself as that, and that's not.
And you push people away. Like I can think of a few family members right off the top of my head when we're talking about this too, that have in turn pushed me away because that's all that they want to talk about. And I'm like, what's going on today? Like, what'd you do this weekend?
tell me something good.
Yes. Like, why do we constantly have to be dragging the past, like, beside us? Like, let it go. Let's go forward.
Yeah.
I love it.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Next,
I'm out.
Next topic. Trust your gut, intuition. That's a basic one. We talk about that all the time. If you have a gut feeling, trust it. That's it.
Honestly, this is something Natalie and I have talked about a lot over the past few years. And like, once you get that initial gut feeling that something is not right for you, if you try to ignore it, it is going to keep coming back. If it's not meant for you, then it'll show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Next one. This goes to, we've touched on this a little bit, but I'm just going to say it anyway. People are much more concerned with themselves than you. So stop being afraid of judgment.
Yes, we all need to hear that.
We all need to hear that every day.
Yeah,
Every
every
day
day.
we still need to hear that.
That
And
should be
especially with
a-
social media.
That should be an everyday mantra.
Honestly.
I'm scared to post something on my story. What will people
Yeah.
say?
The amount of times
Nobody cares.
that we've tried to post something and then we delete it because we try to do it over and over again, and then we're like, oh my god, like this is what I look like, or oh my god, I sound so cheesy, it sounds too forced.
I was talking to this marketing guy though, and he was like, don't do it. Take it once, take it twice, then you're done. Okay? It's fine. The more you drag it out, the more you criticize yourself.
And the more time you have to talk yourself out of it.
Yeah, exactly. 1 or 2 takes and that's it. I feel like that should be like a life principle almost. 1 or 2, okay? It's good.
Well,
Let's
it's like
go.
what Mel Robbins says. Her rule, though, like just 1, 2, 3, go.
Yes,
Just
get out
do
of
it.
bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
1, 2,
5, 4,
3.
2, 1.
Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2,
5, 4,
1.
2, the
Yeah.
countdown.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
just do it.
I do that a lot actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
that too. Like when you're at the gym or something too, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. And then I'm like, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or like when I'm running, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to get to that stop sign and then I'm going to take a break. And then I'll get to that stop sign and be like,
Yes.
nope, I'm going to the next sign. And I'm
Yes.
like, okay, keep training it, Christy. Let's
Yes,
go.
just keep pushing.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know what number we're on, but I have a couple topics left. Go travel at least once by yourself, which I know we've talked about before, but that was just really transformational for me. I think I did it at 22, right before I turned 23. And the amount of growth I've had post that trip to now, I think it really...
I want to do that. That's on my
Catapulted me.
list since meeting you guys. I keep thinking about it too. I'm like, I need to do that.
Everyone that has solo traveled has said the same exact thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's just transformed them, and that you just really learn a lot about yourself through that. And
Yeah.
especially in your 20s, I feel like when we're all so lost and we don't know what we want and you're just trying to figure it out, I feel like that's the perfect time to do it.
For sure.
Yeah. I've said this before. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast. But even if you were with friends, family, it's so crazy how even those people influence you. So when you're truly by yourself, until you are truly by yourself and you have nobody who even knows anything about you or any connections to make who you actually are. Because it's totally different than normal.
That's deep.
It's so
It
crazy.
is. But it's just interesting because, like, you're in your own town or, like, oh, I know your friend or I know something or blah, blah, blah. Then that's a connection.
Take that away.
Take
See
it
who
all
you are.
away to see who you are. I was more confident than I've ever been. It was just amazing to see who you actually are. I don't know. I think it's a huge thing, and I would definitely recommend it. And it doesn't have to be a big trip. It could literally be like a weekend.
In the States.
Yeah, it could be anything. Let's see. I had visualize what you want in life and live with intent. Which I need to hear every day still. I've learned that lesson, but I still need to practice it.
We all do.
Yeah. Like, piggybacking off of that, like, set goals for yourself. I think that's a big thing, too, is, like, I don't know. Like, you should have dreams of things that you want to accomplish and do. And, like, make your standards high, you know?
Yep.
Shoot for the moon.
Yeah. I have that on here as well. Never stop dreaming. Literally ever.
Yeah.
Period.
And just never settle.
No.
Never settle. I feel like once you start to settle and get comfortable is when it starts to get dangerous, and you just need to, I feel like at that point you need to go for the next level up or goal or whatever. Just once you start to get comfortable, it starts getting, that's when you start settling.
Yep. Don't be comfy.
No, you can't grow in that.
I agree. This was a big one for me. Be curious. Question everything. And I say this mostly just because you've grown up in a certain way.
I love that.
I think questioning everything, like, why do you think that? Or that you feel that way.
Yeah.
Natalie and I talk about this a lot too with like religion, and just because every religion, I feel like, you know, they think their way is the way, but to me, I'm like, well, why do they all think that? You know,
all
and
think that they're right.
it's all so it's so interesting to hear everybody's perspectives, and you know what they worship, why they worship that. Like, I don't know.
I agree.
Or it's just traveling too. That's why traveling is so interesting to me. Going to other places just to see how they live, just to be curious about, like, okay, this is the way we were raised, this is what we believe as Americans, and this is our lifestyle. But you go to other countries and you're like, how do you live? Like, just to, I don't know, because just because we grew up like this, it doesn't mean that's the life you have to live.
Exactly.
You know, you could, I don't know, it's so fascinating. So yeah, stay
I
curious.
love that too. That's good.
So interesting going to the opposite side of the world, and you're like, wow, like, our country's really not that old. And then you go there and see the huge basilicas and the leaning buildings that
The
have been there.
architecture.
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. And it's like, that's what I love to see. Because
Right.
they think, like, we think, 100 years is old. No.
No.
That's nothing. That's new.
Right.
And just like their way of life, like, you know,
Yeah.
eating dinner at 9-10 p.m. and then having an espresso, and nothing opens until you know 10 or noon the next day. It's just, it's so interesting to see different ways of life. And
Don't even get me into the
when
blue
we're on like
zones.
the grind here in America, like
Right.
up at 5 a.m. Like if you're up at 5 or 4 something, you're on it. And you're gonna kill the day,
Right.
And then you have that.
just
That's
absolutely
wild.
like killing ourselves here. And over there, it's just so very
2-hour lunch, having coffee.
yeah.
If you've watched Emily in Paris, it's exactly that.
Yeah.
It's like chill. Everybody's at like outside. There's this thing on Instagram that I don't know if I shared it or not, but it was like eating outside in America, and it's like the casual and you're in the parking lot, Mexican restaurant, like picnic table, and then outside in like Europe or something, there are tiny little chairs everywhere, and it's like, it's nice, it's calming, it's
Peaceful.
a whole other environment.
It really is.
Anyway, okay. I just have one more, and that's all I have. Memories. You can't put a price on them.
True.
Traveling,
Yes.
I can't
Experiences.
tell you. I don't know how much we've spent. At the time, we were like, oh my gosh. Like,
I don't care.
like, oh, this is a lot. No, couldn't even tell you how much. Memories are worth
everything.
Everything.
They are.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you are not in a great financial position to begin with, then maybe
Don't stretch yourself too thin.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe don't always just
smart.
go for it. Be smart with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's priceless every time.
Yeah.
So create more. Go make a memory.
Yeah.
I don't have any hour. I don't even know if I'm sure we've hit 25. Probably went over.
Yeah.
And we'll post all of these. We'll put a post out.
So hopefully you took some insight from any of these.
Yeah.
And like we said, we'll post them so that because, we kind of went through them fast. But yeah, if you have any lessons that you've learned in your mid-20s or just 20s in general, send them our way. So then maybe we can learn something from you.
Yes.
Or any time period. I
Yeah.
don't care how old you are.
Yeah.
The older
We're all
the better.
figuring It out. Yeah. the older the
Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening.
Yeah. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.